WoW Classic Exploration Part 18, Outside the Karazhan Raid Instance. Believe it or not, it's possible to get outside Karazhan from inside the raid instance. In fact, it's pretty easy. Towards the top of the library, right before Nightbane, you want to use these two piles of books and just jump up onto the windowsill. It looks like the outside is blocked, but it's not. You can actually jump right out the window. You'll need some kind of bubble or slow fall to survive the drop, though. Now, if you jump straight down or to the left, it's going to bring you to a partially rendered chunk of Zul'Gurub. You can wander around and check out some of the old geography from the open world ZG terrain, but when you get to the edge of the map, it cuts off into the water, and the bridge that would normally bring you down to Hakar's Island sort of cuts off before you actually get there. A big warning here: don't get too close to the edge. If you get too close to the edge of the map, you'll get a fatigue bar, which is kind of interesting inside of a raid instance, and if you keep pushing it, it'll suspend you in midair, unable to move and unable to log out, even if you die. So if you get stuck like that, it's Alt F4 as the only escape. Anyway, I'm going to do the thing where I speed up the footage and play some techno music for a minute before we check out the next area. Enjoy the rest of Zul'Gurub. Now, if you dive out of the window to the right, we can explore a much larger area. The first thing we find are some farms and town buildings from the village outside of Karazhan, all deserted but somewhat furnished. Interestingly, the cemetery and the crypt that are normally behind the tower are nowhere to be found and are replaced with farms. Now, given that the architecture in ZG is the earlier stuff from before they finalized it for the raid layout, it's possible that these farms were the original scenery around Karazhan before the crypt and graveyard were added in. Now, if we go around to the front of the tower, we can check out the buildings there, but don't get too close to that instance portal. That's the actual entrance to the raid, and if you touch it, you're going to get ported back outside. Now, we can follow the road up the hill into the ogre area like normal, but the path up towards Darkshire or the swamp is blocked off by debris. Blizz often does a pretty good job of using like rock outcroppings or falling logs and things like that to block off potential egress routes in instanced outdoor areas like this. Like if you explore around in the Escape from Durnhold, you'll find a lot of the exits to the zone are blocked off by like a fallen tree, a big chunk of rock, a closed gate, things like that. Well, they forgot something here. They forgot to add water into the river. So we can just go around and follow the river up to the north and eventually get back into the road that was cut off by all the debris going around the roadblock. Now from here, we can go west into Duskwood and find the town of Darkshire. Nobody's here, and the ground is all brown and barren, but the town itself is mostly constructed and intact. The forge even works, and I smelted some bars at it. I may be the first person to ever actually smelt anything at this particular forge in WoW Classic. You can explore the area immediately to the north and the south of the town, but you can't really go too far as you're going to run into the edge of the map again pretty quickly. The same disclaimer applies from the ZG area, that if you hug the edge too close, you're going to get the fatigue bar, and you can soft lock your character, so don't tempt fate. Here's some more techno music while we look around until the next part. Now lastly, if we go east into the Swamp of Sorrows, we unfortunately can't get very far. We get the beginnings of Splinter Spear Junction, and if we go south, we can find the Aetherius Cave sealed off, but past that there isn't really much going on here as the map cuts off again pretty early. Now, based on the boundaries of the map, and assuming that it's roughly a square, it's possible that the Altar of Storms and Dreadmaw Hold are actually rendered in the Karazhan instance, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find a way into the Blasted Lands, even with a fair amount of wall jumping and exploration. But it's fun to think about what might be over there, and what it might look like if these instanced outdoor exteriors really do reflect an earlier version of, like, sort of the overworld geography in the map. In any case, that's basically all there is to see outside of the instanced raid version of Karazhan in the Burning Crusade Classic. If you're new to the series, make sure to check out the playlist because there's a whole bunch more of these. And as always, thanks for watching.